Before we change the oil and oil filter, we'll need to consult the owner's manual to determine the type or weight of oil and how much of it the engine requires. If you no longer have an owner's manual, you can call your local dealership or parts store and ask for this information. We'll also need an oil filter like the one shown here, which you can purchase from your local parts store or directly from our website. For this Mustang, we chose a K&N high performance filter along with Mobil 1 full synthetic oil. The next step is to find a safe way to raise your vehicle. We will be using a set of ramps. But with this vehicle we have a slight problem. It's too low and the bumper hits the ramp before the wheels do. An easy way around this problem is to place wooden planks in front of the tires. Once the vehicle is on top of the planks, there should be enough room to line up the ramps. Do so carefully. The last thing we want to do is drive off the edge of the ramp. Once the car is raised onto the ramps, secure the emergency brake and place chocks behind the rear wheels. Now that the car is on the ramps, it's a lot easier to work underneath of it. Here we see the old oil filter. A little further back we can see the bottom of the oil pan, and on the right the drain bolt. In the next few steps, we want to set up our work area. Lay some old newspaper on the ground and remove the plug from the oil drain pan and slide the pan under the vehicle. Don't forget to remove the oil cap so that the old oil can drain easily in the next step. To remove the drain plug, we will use a ratchet and a 16mm socket. If you have difficulty removing the drain bolt, make sure you are turning it counterclockwise. It's easy to lose track when you're looking up and reaching. If it still is difficult, use a breaker bar. Continue to loosen the drain bolt until you think you can loosen it with your fingers. Some oil should be dripping at this point. Slowly turn the bolt with your fingers and be ready to remove it quickly. If the oil is hot, you are better off using the socket. In either case, the goal is to maintain control of the bolt so that you don't lose it or drop it into the oil drain pan. Wipe the bolt, wrap it in the rag, and set it in a safe place. Reposition the oil pan as the oil stream slows down. If it's windy outside, be careful since the thin stream can blow in your face or out of the pan. After almost all of the oil has drained, wipe the drain area and reinsert the drain plug. It should screw in with minimal effort, and if it doesn't, the drain bolt may be stripped. You can buy a new one at your local auto parts store. Tighten the drain bolt with the ratchet. We want it to be tight to avoid leaks, but not too tight. If you have an aluminum oil pan, be especially careful. Over-tightening will ruin the threads pretty easily. Use the same rag to clean the drain bolt area, as this will help us spot leaks when we start the car. Now we move forward to the oil filter. On the Mustang, I like to place a funnel below the filter to help collect the oil. Otherwise, it ends up all over the undercarriage and makes a big mess. In most cases, the oil filter can be removed by hand. If the last person to change the oil over-tightened it, or you can't get a good angle on the filter, an inexpensive oil filter wrench will solve the problem. Check our website for more details on the various oil filter wrenches. After loosening the filter and waiting for the remaining oil to drain through the funnel, remove the filter and place it on top of the drain pan. Use a rag to wipe down the oil filter mounting surface. Also check to make sure the spindle, or the part the oil filter screws onto, is tight. Take the new filter out of the box and spread a small amount of new oil on the gasket. This will create a nice seal when we go to install the filter. Slide the new filter into place and tighten it until it is snug, or hand tight. Next time around, it will be just as easy to remove. You may not be able to find K&N oil filters at your auto parts store, but you can order them through our website. Next, we take our same blue funnel and clean it with the rag. Any dirt that is in or on the tip of the funnel can get into the engine and scratch the metal surfaces, so take your time and clean it well. The owner's manual stated that we will need 6 quarts of oil for the V8 Mustang, but here's a little secret: don't add 6 quarts right away. There's always some amount of oil that is still left in the engine after draining it, so we'll start with the 5 quarts in this jug. Remove the funnel and replace the oil cap. Slide the oil drain pan out from underneath of the vehicle and then close the hood. Start the car, check for leaks, roll the car off the ramps, and then shut off the engine. Open the hood again and get an initial reading from the dipstick. Looks like we're a little below the minimum mark. We'll go ahead and add oil, about 1/2 quart at a time. Remember, it's a lot easier to add oil than to drain it. Keep adding and checking. It may take 3 or 4 times to get the oil level right. Also, don't try to hit the maximum mark. You should settle somewhere below, like shown here, because the oil you've just added is still flowing down to the drain pan, and your reading is an underestimate. Remove the funnel, and most importantly, don't forget to put the oil cap back on. You can place the old filter in the new one's box and then seal up the oil pan. If you have an open drain pan, you can pour the old oil into the empty oil containers. Take the old oil to your township building or any local auto parts store to have it recycled. Do not dump oil into sewers or onto the ground. Here are some final pieces of advice. Use the right type of oil as specified in your owner's manual. And don't over tighten the drain bolt or filter, since doing either can damage your car or make it extremely difficult to remove them later. I can't tell you how many people forget to do so, but please replace the oil cap when you're finished. Lastly, keep an eye out for oil spots or leaks over the next few days and retighten the filter or drain bolts if necessary. For more great videos and notes on this episode, be sure to visit our website at www.autohal.tv. Watch and learn.